Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we are going to be checking out the brand new TRK Arnold by Max Mike 181. Now, this is very obviously based on the next generation Hummer, which, as we know, is an EV, or an electric vehicle. Now, regardless of what your opinions are on electric vehicles, I'm sure there are going to be some people out there that are going to be like, oh my god, I hate this thing solely because it is electric, or it needs to be diesel swapped, otherwise I'm not interested. I would really like to see what the off-road capabilities of something like this are actually like once they start shipping and once they start actually getting in the hands of their customers. Now, I'm sure that people that have ordered these things in real life, not all of them are going to take them off-road, obviously. I mean, the same thing happened with the Hummer H2. A lot of them ended up just getting driven around on the road. But here's the thing. You know, these things have a lot of off-road capability built into them from the factory, and again, I'm really curious to see what happens when people actually start taking these things off-road. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and fire it up, get it in the garage, and see what all we can do to it in terms of customization. But before we do that, I also want to show you guys this incredible interior. Look at this. He's actually based this interior off of the upcoming next generation Hummer. It's wild in here. And everything is pretty much modeled to be here. Everything from the AC vents to the glove compartment to the switches on the dash to the infotainment system to the gear stick and everything, and literally everything else with the seatbelt buckles. It is all here. But now, like I said before, without any further ado, we're going to get into the garage. Once you start it up, obviously all you really hear is a little tiny bit of an electric whine. It's not completely quiet, but that electric whine only kind of becomes apparent once you start getting up to speed. So let's see. So we've got a couple of different engine options. We have the EV2 dual motor, which is 625 horsepower with a dual motor system. We have the EV2X, which is another dual motor with 710 horsepower. And then we have the EV3X, which is a triple motor system putting out 800 horsepower. Now, I think we're going to have to go straight to the 800 horsepower version. I'm really curious to see what this thing drives like with that power. And now we have the stock transmission, we have the CVT slider box, and we also have the crawler box Scout Gen 4. Now, Max Mike's crawler boxes have been getting refined over and over and over again, essentially ever since the dawn of SnowRunner modding. And so I'm really curious to see how the latest and greatest version of this transmission actually feels to drive. We'll also probably try out the slider box a little bit later on in the video. Now, suspension-wise, we have one option, and that is active, but as you'll see once we get outside the garage, this active suspension has a lot of height adjustment to it. Now, tires-wise, it's going to come stock on these MMR Rider 35s. You can also go up to a 38, which actually still fits really, really well. Now, the shielders look really, really good in both 35 and 38. I also like the sabers. The sabers look pretty awesome. Let's see. What do we have in terms of mud tires? Ooh, the MMR Assassins. Those look awesome. Those look properly sick. And then, of course, you've got the studded MMR Lancers as well. We're going to do the 38-inch MMR Assassins, and then from here, we're going to do an Autonomous Scout Plus winch. And then in the back, let's see. I want to do probably this one, trunk repair supplies with the fuel. But here's the funny thing about that. That is literally like the repair parts we could use, but the fuel would just be for anybody else that was broken down on the trail, because obviously this thing really has nowhere to put that. So moving on to the visuals, we have a tall beacon, we have a small roof rack up top, we have roof fogs, and we also have LED fogs. I'm going to go in and actually put the LED fogs up there because I think they actually look really freaking cool. Now, front bumper wise, we got a bull bar we can put up front. I'm not sure if I'm feeling the bull bar. I feel like it kind of obstructs the look of the front end, but that's completely up to you guys in terms of what you want to put on the front of this thing. Now, let's see what kind of wheels we have. Woo, those look awesome. Bro, we're definitely going to go with these. Those look amazing. Now, in terms of colors, it's definitely iconic in that, like, almost pearl white with the kind of, you know, like the black roof and the black running boards. But I also really like this olive green. I think that's definitely an interesting color to go with. I also want to see if that's almost like a Forest Service green. I really like that. And you know what? Actually, the funny thing is, I could totally see these, like, you know, years down the road. I could totally see some of them being incorporated into, like, some kind of fleet for the Forest Service if they go, you know, if they try to go, like, partial EV with their vehicles. It would definitely be an interesting one to see, you know, get incorporated into something like that. Let's stick with the pearl white. And then now we're going to put the Bobbledar up there on the dash because that actually fits really well with the vibe of this entire vehicle. And now it's time to check and see what kind of trailers it can tow. And actually, though, wow, that looks so freaking cool. Like, I legitimately love the way that that looks. I really, really do. How does it look with the lights on? Oh, it looks even better. Oh, that's awesome. I love the way this thing looks, dude. I absolutely love it. Mike did an incredible job with this thing. Oh, dude, it's quick, even in reverse. It's got a lot of torque. Now, granted, torque is really the number one party trick of electric vehicles. It's like they don't really have a ton up top, but, you know, torque-wise, they're absolute monsters because they obviously have power from 0 RPM, and this thing definitely drives like that. Let's see, light gen trailer. Oh, I forgot about this light trailer. That's so freaking cool. I definitely need to mess with that a little bit. And let's see, the GGMS OP1 camper. Oh, dude, the trailer selection for this thing is awesome. All right, let's see if we can get, oh boy, let's see if we can get out onto some obstacles with it. I'm so, like, intrigued by how this thing may do off-road. If you listen really closely, you can hear the electric motor whine. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute to see if you guys can hear it. It definitely gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder the faster you go, and every time you shift gears, it also gets a little bit louder. Now, when we approach an obstacle like this, you know, we could do it from our normal suspension mode, but we're not going to do that. Look how much active lift this thing has. Going up. That's so much lift. Like, and not only is it a lot of lift, but the suspension still has travel at that height. It's not like it's maxed out to the point to where it doesn't have any travel. And in high, this thing ain't slow. It ain't slow at all. All right, let's see if we can stay in high going up this hill. Let's go. I wonder if there's too much wheel speed, because it just gave up on that one. That was kind of weird. Let's see. We'll do one more run. Really? Okay. We'll do one more run. Take two. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, we wheelied up the top of the hill. Yeah, there must have been something weird going on there with the way that I had set up the truck's position, because that was a little odd. Now, I know that this thing is obviously four-wheel independent, but it should still have some interesting flex characteristics to it. Now, it is all-wheel drive all the time and diff lock always on, but I think we're having a little bit of trouble with, like, a loose rock right here. Yeah, it was the loose rock completely getting hung up under one of our tires. Now, interestingly enough, someone spotted a truckload of these, like in real life, spotted, like, a car hauler of these out in Tennessee with, like, they were all loaded up on a car hauler. They were Hummer EVs, and they had, like, a whole bunch of mud and body damage all over them. And if I was to guess and hope, you know, and if I was to hope that my guess was correct, I would venture that they, I guess, were testing them somewhere. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure, is that they were testing them on some trails, maybe? I don't know, maybe going to Windrock or something with them? All right, come on. Can we make our way through here? I don't think so. I think we may or may not have found a little bit of a limit, but that's okay. Those are meant to be found. Come on. Ease it on back. We may just need to take a slightly different approach. I have a feeling that it can do that obstacle. It's just going to be a little bit of a tricky approach to get it done. So I think, because I'm going to make one more effort to do that, because I feel like it can do it. So let's see. You got to drive it a little bit differently than you would some other vehicles for sure, but that's not to say that it can't go after obstacles like this. Now, easy. Oh, I see what it is. It's caught on the running boards. Yep. That's a little bit iffy. I wonder, can we bump it? I wonder if we can, because I don't know if wheel speed will actually help us here, though. That's the thing. Yeah, wheel speed in some vehicles, it helps you. In other vehicles, it doesn't help you. In this one, it seems like it doesn't help you. Yeah, it is not feeling that. I think it's just got so much torque that once the wheel speed kind of kicks in, it's just going to start spinning. But also, these tires may be more of a mud-dedicated tire. They didn't really describe whether or not they were a mud-dedicated tire, but I would venture a guess that they are, especially after seeing their performance on that rock. Now, granted, the stock rocks don't actually have that much traction, and I would really need to get it out onto a map like TNB Trails that has proper rock grip to really test these tires, you know, accordingly. But still, I mean, it is doing an amazing job, and it's like we saw on that first hill. It climbed up really, really well the second time when I had the momentum positioned the right way. but the first time, all it did was spin. So I really think I need to put a little bit more time into learning how this thing likes to be driven. Through the mud, it's a machine. Well, until it gets stuck. It's either full on or full off, apparently. Like, it's either full go or no go. Yeah, wow. Dude, it really is either full go or no go. Let's see. I think what we're going to do from here, since we have definitely found the mud limit for this thing, we're going to give it a little bit of a, we're going to give it a little bit of a rescue. And this guy is going to go right here, and we'll just hook it right up and pull. It's so weird hearing, like, an engine sound for the first time in this video. It's very odd, isn't it? All right, we're almost there. Come on. And you're good to go. All right, we're going to go ahead and disconnect that winch and remove and back into it. Now, it's always really nice having vehicles like that just kind of chilling out and sitting around just in case you need them, you know? Just in case you need them while you're testing a new vehicle that you've never experienced the limits of before and you go maybe a lot farther into a mud pit than you should have. They're always at the ready. They're right there for you. All right, so now let's see how this thing does through the dips obstacle. I definitely think it's going to be a little bit of a game of angling, but the approach and departure angles shouldn't be all that bad. I mean, it's got a really nicely balanced center of gravity, and with the lift and the 38-inch tires, I think it's got a good chance of making it all the way through, so long as we drive it correctly. And I'm trying to drive it as correctly as I possibly can, but that time it's still kind of, you know, angled directly to, directly toward the obstacle. Now, I will say, one of the cool things about the real-life Hummer EV is the fact that it's got that weird, like, crab walk mode where the rear steer can, like, turn the same direction as the front wheels, and it can, like, walk sideways, but in a straight line. It's very odd and very weird. But, you know, and I don't know where you would use that as, like, a practical feature, but nevertheless, it's still really cool that it could do it. I love that shot of it right there, by the way. That looks sick. I also cannot wait to see how it does down the bridge jump. The bridge jump in this thing is going to be silly, but, like, I mean, silly in all the best ways, but it's still going to be freaking silly. Yeah, the dips obstacle, it actually managed with relative ease. It did a really good job in there. It's also got so much torque that even with the e-brake on, it's still going. All right, ready to head to the bridge jump? Because I am. Let's go. It's pretty... What the heck was that? Just driving along. I didn't hit anything. I didn't even hit one of the cones or the dips in the road. I hit absolutely nothing, and the game was like, emotional damage. Like, it was like, here you go. This game does that to you sometimes. It's very weird. All right, let's ease it up and around. Come on. So high range is about the equivalent of 7th gear. That's good to know because I'm always like back and forth in a lot of vehicles on what gear high range actually equals. This one seems like it's about 7th gear. All right, here we go. Bridge jump time. Or 7th. Come on, shift it. Shift it. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't want to shift. Wow, it is so level, though. Man, if this was bowling, that would have been really, 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 really good. Because, dude, we took out almost all the barrels. That was freaking great. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the video and, of course, the vehicle in the comment section down below. And if you would like to see more, make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on. And I will see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.